Hey, Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Israel attacked Syria in order to protect the Druze population there. And of course, Israel is being castigated and criticized by many countries for doing so. And Israel has continued to be criticized for their attack on Iranian nuclear capabilities. But just remember one thing that we see in this week's Parsha, Parshat Pinchas, happens to be my Bar Mitzvah Parsha. A terrible plague had broken out because there was idol worship, and the Midianite women were seducing the Jewish men into idol worship, causing this terrible plague. Pinchas put an end to it. But he had to do something very dramatic. Pinchas comes out and he performs this act of zealotry and puts an end to this terrible plague by killing. He had to take the life of the Midianite princess, and Zimri, who was a Nasi, a prince from the tribe of Shimon. He did something that was very unpopular, something that didn't sit well with a lot of people, because we don't like doing these types of things, but it put an end to the plague, and it was the right thing, and even though it wasn't the popular thing. And remember what it says in this week's Parsha, Lachen emor hineni noten lo et Briti Shalom. Irony of ironies, who gets the covenant of peace? Pinchas gets the covenant of peace. Pinchas is the one that is acting in a way that seems very aggressive. It looks like Israel is being very aggressive going into Syria, going into Iran. But what Israel is doing is nothing different than what Pinchas did. Sometimes the right thing isn't always the popular thing. Sometimes just because Israel is getting critiqued and criticized doesn't mean it's doing the wrong thing. And it doesn't mean also, even though it may look belligerent, it may look like we're on the offensive, we're attacking, we have the better capabilities, the better technology and machinery, and we're using it. We get the Briti Shalom. God says, you will get the covenant of peace, because sometimes in order to preserve peace, in order to make peace, the bad guys have to be taken out, strength has to be shown, and moves have to be taken that are going to be criticized. And just, again, because somebody criticizes doesn't mean anything that was done is wrong. So we stand again behind Israel for its attack on Syria, just like we stood behind Israel for its attack in Iran. Don't allow any of the naysayers to paint this false impression of Israel as some sort of belligerent country. They're doing this only for peace. And Hashem, just like he blessed Pinchas after what he did, saving the Jewish people with a Briti Shalom, with a covenant of peace, so too should the IDF and the state and the people of Israel also be blessed with peace. Shabbat Shalom.